So before we get started with the video, I'm just doing a quick shout out for my gaming club, the Dagger Gaming Club. We are holding a DBA 3.0 tournament on Sunday the 2nd of September 2018. This will be held at the Launch Sales Parish Hall, which is just outside Bude in North Cornwall. This is the UK. It's a 15mm tournament, well 50mm baiting, whatever scale you want to use, we don't mind. We have got players that use 10mm on 15mm and 6mm on 15mm basing, so that'll be cool. You'll need your 12 element army and some terrain, as per the rulebook. We're hopefully going to get 4 different games for 4 different opponents, but 8 games in. You're going to play each opponent twice, once as the attacker and once as the defender. And hopefully we'll go from there. So to find out more information, either contact me on here via the YouTube, or you can contact the Facebook page of the Dagger Gaming Club and find us through there. Alright guys, I will get on with the video. Cheers! So welcome back to the last and final game of the Dagger Gaming Club Saga event. This is the top table. It's me versus Tristan and his Scots. Both of us had it's got exactly the same on points for wins. We both have 2 wins and a draw, I think it works out to be, and basically we're 2 points away from each other on the kill points as well. So whoever wins this is going to win, and the interesting thing is the one that's third behind as well. I mean, if we end up in a draw and that player gets a win, he's a chance that he'll go in the first place. So I think there's about 3 people vying for the top place here, depending on this one. So for me to win, I'm going to have to wipe out the Scots to make sure I get the good lead. In doing so, I'll probably be pushing my opponent to third instead of second place. But you know, we've got to do it. So let's see how the game goes. So as I say, it's the Scots versus Welsh final. So my Welsh warband is pretty much as you know it. It is the 10-11-11 warriors, all armed up with javelins. And the Scots player on the other hand has the 4 Hearthguard, 8 warriors, and 12 levy with bow. So simple army. It's the same opponent I saw in the first of my doubles tournament. So we've been pretty equally paired right throughout. And so this will make the big difference. Let's see how it goes. So I get first turn, and with only 3 dice, I actually managed to get the dice that I required to get the I can't think of it as now. One where I can activate all my foot units, or all my units for a move without getting fatigue, I believe it is. Anyway, so I stored that on and just moved my guys a bit forwards where I could to get within the 12. And left it at that for my opponent. So my opponent moves up in his turn, and I use my reaction ability to move up and ling some javelins at him. And I believe I remember now that the the Scots also have javelins of a sort. They've got the I think it's long spear ability, which effectively gives them javelins. I managed to knock some casualties onto these guys. This also may be helped with the bowmen as well. I believe it's my turn now. I'm starting to activate my guys up for a move, so I'm just going to move around the flank here and throw some more javelins. And again, I move up here and throw some javelins at his Hearthguard unit. It's only got 4 men, so it should be relatively easy to clink off, and I managed to get 2 of them out. The main idea on taking on the Scots this time is, as I say, I know the Scots' defensive abilities are absolutely sick, so I don't want to go charging in if I can help it at all, and maybe evade from him if he's going to try and have a go at me. In the meantime, I'm going to get up there and throw as many javelins as I can at him, because he has got a lot of defensive abilities against the amount of javelins I can throw. And over here again, I get another activation off and managed to plink another 2 off. I believe this activation was probably with the everyone move kind of activation. Or I did that one first, I can't remember, but yeah, got another 2 off, and that means there's already a Saga dice down, which is making me feel a lot better. Yes, it must have been my move. It does generate fatigue from memory. It removes fatigue, I think it could be the thing it does. Anyway, I move these guys up as well, and finish off the last 2 of those Hearthguard, which puts some fatigue on those 2 units you can see in front of me. So I'm in a really happy place now. I've managed to wipe out 2 of my opponent's Saga dice, and not really taking a lot of casualties thus far. And my opponent shoots and kills off one of my guys. So this is from his bowman. These guys are quite a little thorn in my side here, mainly because he's got a battle board ability, which it allows them to shoot. I don't know if it's the same or an easier dice than it is to activate the actual levy, but it also just gives them 1 extra dice on the attack, or 2 extra dice on the attack. So these are the little level unit. They may be only shooting once a turn, but they are firing out quite a few shots, which is irritating. Being as a 3-man unit, I did the Homicidal reaction ability, which allowed me to charge, I believe. Excuse me. So I'm just going to go in for it and try and take him out. And luckily I did, and suffered no casualties in return. And believe it or not, I think it's the end of like turn 1 for both of us. So yeah, it was a, a pretty chaotic round. We'll start my turn 2. Or his turn 2. But yes, I've taken out 2 of the units and minimal losses on my side. So I'm in a very happy position now. Okay, yeah, it was the start of my next turn. My opponent's doesn't seem to be activating much because he was shooting and getting his defensive abilities up on his board. He's got a reduced amount of dice now, so he's got to be careful with what he's doing. So I'm going to continue with my plan of moving up, throwing javelins, and just plink these guys away so they can't defend themselves. As you see here, I'm throwing another volley. I'm doing some damage to these guys really well. Over here I lose another 2 men, still enough to generate me Saga dice, thankfully, but yeah, the casualties are out on this flank thanks to those bloody archers. And then in my opponent's face, he pulls back with his warriors, fearing any more javelins. Unfortunately, that also allowed me to activate for a charge after he finished moving, which left his warlord open, so I went and charged his warlord. I thought, this is me as well, it's the chance I've got. And this is how things are looking. Actually, I'm starting to get bloodied up now, but I'm in a real strong position. I've managed to put 3 fatigue on his warlord. I mean, I didn't manage to get him out, but as I say, they've got some great defensive abilities, so they can really soak up the damage. What I did is charge the warriors. That's what I did. I charged the warriors first. Done another 1 wound to them, so they're no longer generating Saga dice. Pushed them back, and then drove into the warlord. I mean, it was going to get my guys overly fatigued. I wasn't expecting to do a lot, but if I can get some damage out, at least he'll be fatigued, and then he'll be prone for any javelin throws I'll get at him. So my opponent tends to shoot again, so I try to evade, which allows me to move first, so I move up to him and throw some javelins at him just to try and reduce some of the shooting. My warlord moves up and throws some javelins and kills off my opponent's warlord. So that's a victory to my warlord. I mean, it wasn't close combat or anything, but at least he did manage to finish him off. Yes, he was bleeding, lying on the floor and probably not moving, but it still counts as a victory for my warlord. And being as it may, he's going to move up as well and chuck a couple more javelins and try and take out some more of these guys, and manage to kill off another 1. And I charge these guys up the hill. The guys just lined down in front there to show where they actually are. They're up the hill there, and charge them in, try and push back these archers. The fight didn't go quite as well as I was hoping. I lost 3 to his 4 again. He hasn't got so many defensive abilities up, and considering the amount of attacks I should have thought I'd decimate them. But he got some good rolls and did alright. Actually, he might have had the ability to drop the amount of attack dice I had up, which was kind of annoying, but still got some good wounds in, and yep, damaged these guys. Still generating Saga though. So my opponent has the 1 Saga dice, and is desperately trying to pull his troops back and use what he can of his Saga dice. So my warlord moves up and throws 1 more, and that's it. He's no longer generating any Saga dice, so on his turn it is game over for him. Quite a mundane turn because I think I was just moving my troops up. I didn't get the Saga dice that I wanted, and there was limits to what I could do. So I'm just moving up at the moment, and it goes over to my opponent, who takes a shot at my warlord, and believe it or not, actually gets a fatigue on him, which was slightly annoying. So I put all effort into my warlord to finish this off. He charges the 2 remaining warriors, kills them off soundly. He then turns his attention to the levy with bows and kills all but 1 of them. And that's how the game ends. Let's start the next turn. My opponent's my opponent obviously is game over because he can't generate any Saga dice. That was a brutal game, and that was pretty much what happens to an opponent when your Welsh do what the Welsh do. I think this was one of the games where I actually rolled a 6, to which I could use the activation of everybody. I think it happened twice in this entire tournament, which is a shame because it's such a good ability. But yeah, they did their job well. It's hard to tell some of the turn sequences. I apologise during this battle again because I use a lot of reactions to activate my troops, just because I find it more annoying and players don't expect it. But as you can see there, the idea of not actually charging the Scots really got me off to a good start. I managed to wipe out a couple of small units, and then it was an uphill struggle for my opponent from then on, with the fewer SAGA dice. The biggest problem he wasn't willing to charge my guys. The main reason for this is he was afraid that I would evade, run away, and then he would be stuck out in the open. Which is fair enough, but with these guys, you're going to have to kind of expect that, or accept that you're going to have to take 2 turns to get in there, so you're going to get in there with the fatigue. But he didn't like the idea of that, and he stayed still, trying to wait for a time to charge out. In the meantime, my javelin men did their job and knocked off the main amount of his troops, meaning he was kind of stuck well and truly until the last stand. So yes, it was a great game for the Welsh, and that was the end of the tournament. And I have to say it was a great tournament as well. Many thanks to a lot of the people. I mean, some of the guys have travelled for a couple of hours to get up to the venue and that, to play here. And the final results were, yes, I managed to actually win my own tournament. That was a good sign. So we had some prizes, and basically I gave the prizes out in order from the second player and third player. Many thanks to the Grip and Beast for that. The Welsh, as I say, came up top. Second place was the Anglo-Danes, whom I allied with in the third game. And then third place was the guy I'm playing now. So it was pretty tight. It all could have completely changed around. I'm going to say, if we both had a draw in the end, the guy who came second would have come first. So it had to be one or the other. One of us had to kill the other one, and this is exactly what I did here. So great game. It was nice to see anyone, and I also have to say the doubles were good fun. It was kind of a trial thing just to see how they would play, but it got players playing with different people they've never really played before. Got to see some different tactics. The first doubles game was kind of mute for everybody. Everyone was unsure on what to do, and I think they all ended up being draws. On the second one, it was understood that you focus down one if you can, and then go for it. And yeah, that's what we did, and it managed to come up with a victory. The Welsh themselves, I'm really enjoying this list. It's much better than the old one. As I said, I only got my big ability off once, maybe twice in this tournament, and I didn't feel at a loss with it. My reactions throw people off a bit, so I get to move my opponent's phase, so I kind of get 2 phases, which means more javelins, which is great, and I definitely think the big units work so much better. I think I'll be trying to keep these big units in. It's more dice to throw, and more dice means more casualties, hopefully and eventually. So I hope you enjoy that, guys, and I shall see you on the next one. That was.